Hi, Dr. Brian Kaufman, the Chief Medical Officer, Executive Vice President of the nonprofit CLL Society here at ASH 2023.
Hi, I'm Meghan Thompson. I am a CLL doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City, also with a clinical practice in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and excited to be here to talk about CLL.
Dr. Thompson, there's a lot of advances that have made in CLL by understanding the biology of the disease. And we recognize that CLL can be targeted by attacking two pathways that it's kind of addicted to. One is the B cell receptor, and drugs have revolutionized the care, specifically ones that block the Bruton tyrosine kinase in that. But we've also looked at the cell suicide or apoptosis pathway, and venetoclax has changed how we treat CLL. But that's it, kind of. We have those two pathways, we have some chemotherapy, we have some immunotherapies. But you're looking at an entirely new approach to this, and it's an early development. Can you tell us about this? What's motivating you to do this research and why you're excited about this particular target?
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, Dr. Kaufman, there's no doubt that the BTK inhibitors and venetoclax are amazing tools for patients with CLL. Very, very good outcomes, but we still have patients that unfortunately develop resistance to these targeted options and need a new way to really target the CLL cells. And we're really harnessing what we've learned in terms of resistance, especially with the BTK inhibitors. Now we have, drugs like ibrutinib, acalabrutinib, zanubrutinib. Recently, FDA approved pirtobrutinib in the United States, which is a non-covalent BTK inhibitor. But still, despite these options, we see patients developing resistance, and there's an unmet need there. So we're conducting a study of what's called a MALT1 inhibitor. So MALT1 is downstream of the BTK protein in the cell. So when we think about the B cell and what leads to CLL cells to grow, this B cell receptor signaling pathway is really, really important. And patients after BTK inhibitors can get mutations or changes in where the BTK inhibitor drug binds in the BTK protein. MALT1 is downstream of this. So the hypothesis or theory is that if we attack this downstream target, then that's a way to potentially overcome the resistance that the CLL cells have acquired from the prior therapies. So this is an early phase 1 trial, first in human trial of ABBV-525, which is a MALT1 inhibitor, really attacking this downstream pathway, and we're hopeful that it's a way to overcome, and preclinically it has been shown to be effective in B cell malignancy cells.
So I have to ask, one of the ways that control by BTK inhibitors is escaped by the cancer cells as they develop a gain of function mutation downstream in PCL-gamma2. I know that personally because that's the mutation I have. Is that downstream from this?
Yeah, this is even downstream of PCL-gamma2. So you have the BTK protein, and then as you mentioned, PCL-gamma2 is downstream of the BTK protein. This target is downstream of both of those. We're learning more and more PCL-gamma2 mutations, even some of the BTK mutations that we're seeing with both covalent and non-covalent inhibitors outside of the initial mutations we saw with ibrutinib and acalabrutinib. There's these kinase dead mutations, and we're doing a lot of work between the clinic and the lab to further characterize what's happening. And there's this what we call scaffolding function of BTK, but in short, the resistance mechanisms, I would say, are becoming a little bit more heterogeneous to BTK. We have BTK mutations, we have the PCL-gamma2 mutations, but this target is actually downstream of both of those. So we're hoping to kind of target at a different point in the B cell receptor signaling pathway to overcome the resistance we see with prior therapies.
So is this an open trial right now? And
Yeah.
how can patients find out more about it?
Absolutely. So this is an open, first-in-human phase 1 currently enrolling trial. There's several sites in the United States, but also internationally. So it's an international trial. We have it open at Memorial Sloan Kettering. There's several sites. So clinicaltrials.gov. It's ABBV-525 MALT1 inhibitor, and it's actively recruiting patients.
We'll make sure that when we post this, we also post a link to the clinicaltrials.gov active page. And this is very exciting. Any final thoughts on this MALT1 inhibitor that you want to share with patients?
Yeah, I think it really highlights that we're still, despite the amazing tools we have in our CLL toolbox, we're still kind of looking at ways to overcome the resistance we're seeing, improve upon care, and always thinking, in this chronic disease, what the next step is for patients. So we're really, really excited and really grateful for patients and their participation.
Well, one of the themes that I've been saying, we're so grateful that we have these two incredible pathways that we're blocking, but it's not enough, and we need more. And so I'm so glad you're doing this early phase trial, and I'm excited to find out what the results are. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.